Hey there, this is Joe Lancicero, retired Imagineer, and you're listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Hi, this is producer Carolyn Bates, and you're listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Hi, I'm John Canemaker, author, animator, blah, 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 and I'm welcoming you to the Skull Rock Podcast. Welcome.
Aye, mateys, remember this as the day you sailed with the Skull Rock Podcast. Proceed at your own risk, and mark well me words, mateys. Dead men tell no tale.
Whether you're a lifelong Disney fan, theme park junkie, or someone who just loves great storytelling, you found your new favorite show. Welcome to Skull Rock Podcast. I'm Aljon Go, musician and longtime Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and pop culturist.
And I'm Dave Bossert, artist, filmmaker, author, and welcome to the 300th episode of the Skull Rock Podcast. Aljon, 300 episodes. You know, I got to tell you, we have a lot of new listeners that have been coming on over the last year and a half or so. And I got to tell you all, it is hard to believe that we're still here after, 300 episodes. This coming October is going to be our 6th anniversary of doing the show, a weekly show, which, is a big deal, I think.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
And the other thing, Aljon, a lot of people who have discovered us over the last year or two probably don't really know how this podcast came about.
Oh, well, whenever you're ready to go into it, we can certainly go into it.
Well, you know something, I think it's worth, I just want to remind people, because, my life is all about serendipitous moments, things that just happen. They drop in your lap, right? And that's exactly what happened with this podcast, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you had a podcast called The Disney List.
Yes, Disney List was running on Sorcerer Radio in different incarnations, since 2009. We were a Tiki Room at one point, and then the Disney List. And, I was interviewing Dave for his brand new book at the time. I think it was Disneyland 3D, right?
It was 3D Disneyland, like you've never seen it before.
That's there you go. So we had a great time. Dave was making the rounds, and we love having him on the show. It was really, really cool.
But it was also, if I remember correctly, it was August of 2020. We were in the midst of a lockdown pandemic. Everything was shut down. People were afraid to go out, right? Remember all of that?
Oh, yes.
And Disneyland was closed. and so the tagline from my book, 3D Disneyland, like you've never seen it before, was where the park is always open.
It is.
Because the park is always open in my book, even though Disneyland at the time was closed out in California. So, after I did this wonderful interview with Aljon, it was, I always send an email to say, hey, thank you for having me on your podcast. To anybody who's had me on their podcast, I always do a follow-up. And in particular with Aljon, I just kind of felt like we clicked. Don't you think? We just had this fun banter, and it was just an enjoyable interview, more so than I've done with other podcasts. Not that those podcasts weren't good; they were great. They were great interviews. But you and I just kind of clicked. And I said, it was just terrific being on your podcast. And you came back. You responded by saying you thought I should have my own podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dave, you're a magnetic personality, and you have a way with words and storytelling, of course, being such a great author and filmmaker. So what better thing? I was like, you know what? The world needs a Dave Bossert podcast because you have so many great stories and insights. So I definitely hit you back with that.
Yeah. And so I responded to your email saying, hey, if I've had people tell me that before, but if I ever decided to do a podcast, I would do it with you. And it was just that phrase that started this insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. The funny thing is we have we did like a show zero. We did a show just to kind of make sure that we worked out whatever kinks we had. It was a pretty darn good show,
It was
So
enjoyable.
yeah, it was really good. So I knew that it would work. I mean, the interviews were great. We had you on my wife's podcast too for Dining at Disney, and it was just a lot of fun. And look at us now. I can't believe it. 300 episodes later, here we are. And we're actually not locked down anymore, and we can roam
Well,
freely. So
yeah, and not only that, our first interview in October of 2020 was producer Joe Hale, who was in his 90s at that point.
yeah,
He was in his early 90s, if you remember. And he, of course, was the producer of The Black Cauldron, but he was our first guest on the show. And it was just because I had visited with him a couple times that year. So I just reached out and said, "Hey, Joe, you want to be on this new podcast?" And he was like, "Absolutely."
it's
So,
unbelievable because now he's passed, rest in peace. But we have had a few of those that were able to capture their words and their thoughts on this podcast. And that's the real reason that I keep going with this show. Not only is I have a great friendship with Dave, but just the whole historical aspect of what we do in chronicling these great stories from these animators, artists, and Imagineers. It's really cool.
no, it is. And I've often told people this is really an oral history of animation in the latter part of the 20th century and the early part of the 21st century.
Yeah.
And it's a record of some real incredible talents. Everybody that we have on this show has contributed to, you know, just numerous great animated films, and some of those people are I would consider pillars of the Disney animation renaissance.
Oh,
Like people
100%.
like Roger Allers, who passed away earlier this year, who was one of the directors of The Lion King and a great story artist. And of course, our friend Don Hahn, the Disney legend and legendary producer of Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King and so many other films, and a great documentarian. And then, of course, other pillars of the Disney animation renaissance, John Musker, and Ron Clemens, the co-directing team behind The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Hercules and Treasure Planet and Moana and so many other films. It's amazing to be able to have those conversations with them and capture their stories and behind the scenes memories of these great films that so many people grew up on and so many people
Yeah.
are fans of, right?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I go back to even, having multiple shows with Kevin Lima because
Yeah.
we love the Goofy movie so much. But not only that, but Enchanted and so many different things. And we have multiple part episodes where we do deep dives into these people's career. And it's great how over time the shows have kind of been able to evolve to the point where we do these mini documentaries on audio, which are really fun. And now video too,
And
because
now
we're
now we're
in
now we're on
video.
our YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, yeah, which is
So
super, super cool and very fun indeed. So I think throughout the entire show, we're going to stitch in some of the old artist IDs that I call artist ID drops, where we've had our guests do little intros for the podcast that I'm going to have to bring back ever since we moved platforms and we're moving the website and everything. I haven't done that, but I'm going to have to bring those back. Those are a lot of fun.
they were. They
Yeah.
absolutely were. And look, I have to say, when we started this podcast, I didn't know how long it was going to go for. In fact, I thought to myself, geez, I'm going to run out of guests pretty fast, And here we are at the 300th episode. We haven't run out of guests. We have some great interviews coming up throughout the rest of this year
Yes.
that we've got already in the bank, and just continue to talk to people. And I'm looking forward to those conversations, and I've enjoyed all the conversations we've had so far. I
It's
mean,
a
it's
highlight of
just
my week. Absolutely a highlight. Every time I get together to chat and have these guests on, it's always a joy because not only do I love behind the scenes features, from my old DVD days, Dave,
Mhm.
from just watching those behind the scenes features, which you've produced so many, so the
Yeah, I
behind the
was in a
scenes of
lot
it.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen a lot, and I love it. You don't see a lot of it now that we're streaming, and it's kind of a shame. We're in the streaming era, and the behind the scenes documentaries have kind of been pushed aside and maybe
Yeah.
regulated to YouTube streaming. So I don't get to see a lot of that. But man, oh man, this podcast is the behind the scenes bonus features that you want for a lot of the movies that you love. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's just been a lot of fun, and talking with a lot of the guests I've worked with over the years, many of these people, and so it brings back not only fond memories for me, but I also learn things because I've often said, in the effects department, so I was seeing films from one vantage point, and then you get character animators like Andreas Deja or, any number, Phil Nibbling, any of those animators we've had on over the years, you get their perspective from the character animation vantage point, and then getting the directors and producers on to the podcast and talking about their experiences. I always learned something new, something new about some of these films that I was actually involved with.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, no, it's
No,
pretty amazing, actually.
it's really cool. I mean, not only do you have those people on, but I find that you learn a lot about life because it cast too, because there's a lot of resilience for a lot of these people and the stories, the struggles that people have been through. It makes you feel like, you know what, well, I'm not the only one that deals with life. There's these people get, they survive. They're survivors. They've got resilience. They've got gumption, whatever you want to call it. And it's really cool
Yeah.
to hear their stories of them kind of overcoming the fact that they're on the show, sharing that their life experience and all that is just a really wonderful thing too. There's a lot of triumph. There's a little bit of tragedy, but everybody works on getting on the other side of those kind of issues. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I just am thrilled that we've lasted this long. I love the fact that we're getting feedback from listeners all over the globe.
Yes.
Aljon, I mean, Taiwan, Australia, Africa, Europe,
Oh man.
Canada, South America, Mexico, just everywhere. People are sending us notes. Japan. I
Yes.
mean, it's just absolutely astounding that we have a global audience for this podcast and that people are interested in hearing the behind the scenes of a lot of these beloved films and hearing us talk about, pop culture, current movies, current streaming. The big surprise to me actually has been hearing from listeners saying they love the what we're watching segment.
That is. It really is.
I mean, it's just absolutely amazing to me. And people are discovering shows that they might not otherwise have heard about.
It is. It's really nice to hear. And we've had a few people actually suggest things that we check out as well. And so, man, it's a great thing that we get to talk and review those things every single week. By the way, Dave, I did get your email, so I've got it up just in case
Okay,
you don't want to
fantastic.
bury the lead because we have an exciting thing for this
No, no,
300th episode.
we do have we do have some excitement here because as we mentioned, I think the last two episodes, I have a new book coming out. Walt Disney, World War II, animation on the front lines. Oh, you threw it up already. My gosh. You
Oh god.
know?
Wait, do you want me to say
I was gonna
I can
build
stop
up
that.
to it
Okay, there you go. All right. Hey, let's just start over again and I'll edit this whole section out. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, Aljon, over the last couple of weeks, I have mentioned the fact that I have a new book coming out, Walt Disney World War II, Animation on the Front Lines. I am thrilled about this book. I can't tell you how long I've been researching this book and wanting to write this book. In fact, in the acknowledgments of the book, I thank two people by name who aren't with us anymore and
Oh.
haven't been for a long time. Dave Smith, who is the head of the Walt Disney Archives,
Yes.
who was very helpful to me throughout the 1990s and into the early 2000s, and Joe Grant,
Oh, wow.
who was there during Disney's World War II period. He was working on these films and working with Walt Disney, and to have been able to know him and talk with him and show him some of the archival material, like original Western Union telegrams and things like that Walt sent to Joe. I mean, it's just crazy.
Wow.
But I mentioned them in the acknowledgments because that's how long I've been not only fascinated by that period of Disney history, but how long I've been looking into it and collecting material and researching and doing all kinds of stuff. So one of the things I'm thrilled about is that we today are going to give away 3 copies. All right?
Whoa.
That's right.
Whoa.
3 for the 300th. How's
Oh,
that?
wow.
Okay, 1
That's
for
nice.
each 100 episodes.
Very nice, Dave.
We're going to
Nicely
give
done.
away 3 copies of my book. But here's the catch. The book isn't coming out until early November. So we're going to give the book away, but you're not going to get it until November. Okay?
Yes.
But you're going to be one of the first people to get it. And by the way, if I get any inventory before November, which is highly likely that I'll get my inventory the middle of October, I'm going to send those books out to people before they're released online.
Love
before
it.
you can buy them on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or at your local bookstore, you're going to have a copy in your hands.
So good.
There's one catch here, folks. It's free shipping in the United States. And that includes Hawaii and Alaska, free shipping in the United States. But I can't ship the book to you if you live overseas. I mean, I can't pay for it, right? So if you want to enter and you live outside the United States, please, if you want to enter, you'll get the book for free. You're just going to have to pay for the postage. And I will tell you right now, the postage can be anywhere between $65 and $85 US to ship a book. Seriously, it's kind of crazy, but that's how much it'll cost. And I have shipped some of my books to people in Japan or Australia or in parts of Europe. And even going to Canada, which is on the continent of North America, shares the continent of North America with the United States. It's still some crazy amount of money to send a book to Canada.
Yes.
So unless you have, someone in the United States that we can ship the book to, or if you're Canadian, some of my Canadian friends actually have a mailbox in the United States across the border from where they live. I'm happy to send it to that for free. But if you have a foreign address, if you live in another country outside the United States, just realize you'd have to pay for the postage. And I'm not going to make anything on the postage, but I'll tell you exactly what the postage is to go to your home country. So that's the caveat. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
There you
So
go.
anyway,
yeah.
I think we'll show the book cover. Not now. Don't do
Okay.
it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't pull the trigger.
All right. I was going to do it.
We're going to show the book. We'll show the book cover a little bit further into the show. Okay. But in the meantime, one of the things that we've also been able to do on our weekly show is let our listeners know about special events that are going on.
Sure.
And this is the last week we're going to plug this for our friend Arnie Leibovit. But he is hosting a special Technicolor screening of The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. It's a beautifully restored Technicolor print of the top grossing film from 1958. and it's next Saturday, July 25th, at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana. Okay, the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana. The links are in the show notes. We've talked about this week in and week out for probably the past 6 weeks or 7 weeks. And I wish I was in Los Angeles next weekend, because I would be at the Frida Cinema to see this special screening of The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, which features some incredible Ray Harryhausen stop-motion animation sequences. And Arnie's going to be showing 2 newly restored Puppetoon cartoons before the presentation. So this is really a special event, folks, and I really encourage you, if you're in Southern California and you have a chance, go to the Frida Cinema next Saturday down in Santa Ana. And that's it. That's the last time we're plugging this event. So I hope you go see it. And if you do go see it, send us a note and let us know how it was.
Hi, I'm John Muster, and you are listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Eddie Soto, former Disney Imagineer, welcoming you to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Hello, this is Nancy Beeman, animator, author, and educator, and you are listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
This is animation director Matt O'Callahan, and you're listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Pam, she wrote this great review of my poetry book.
That's my pick.
I read a great review.
Your girlfriend got a great review.
Oh, that's my pick too. Sorry.
Excuse me while I start the projector.
Skull Rock Podcast, Picks of the Week.
All right, Dave, what have you been watching this week?
Well, Aljon, I often say I don't like to go to a movie on opening weekend.
Yeah.
But I did go this weekend, and I saw The Odyssey.
Do tell,
This
Dave. Do tell.
is the new Christopher Nolan directed big screen epic of Homer's poem, The Odyssey. And it's about Odysseus, king of Ithaca, embarks on a perilous journey to return home after the Trojan War. Crossing the Mediterranean Sea with his fellow soldiers, they soon find themselves battling not only the elements, but an array of deadly obstacles and mythical creatures along the way. Aljon, this is an epic film. This is one of those films that you have to see on a big screen. It's 2 hours and 57 minutes long. It is a star-studded cast. I mean, just listen to who's in this. Of course, Matt Damon plays Odysseus. Zendaya plays Athena. Tom Holland plays Odysseus' son, Telemachus. You've got Anne Hathaway as Penelope, Odysseus' wife. And you've got Charlize Theron, John Barenthal, John Leguizamo, Lupita Nyong'o, Josh Stewart. The list goes on and on. It is an amazing cast. I have to say, Corey Hawkins, Andrew Howard. These are actors that when you see them, you'd be like, holy mackerel! I know that guy. He's been in so many things. But this Robert Pattinson. The list goes on. It's like every major Hollywood star seems to be in this movie. So for a 2 hour and 57-minute movie, at one point, just for no other reason, I happened to look down at my watch, and we were 2 hours into the movie, and it seemed like it went by like that.
Wow.
That is a good movie. This is a cast of thousands kind of film. And it's absolutely spectacular movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. I think this is a movie you have to see in the theaters. And by the way, folks, if you were in high school and you hated having to read the Odyssey, that your teacher was forcing you to read the Odyssey, and you probably went and got the Cliff Notes on it, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, folks, this is the movie to see. This is an epic tentpole film for the summer. The performances are fantastic. The special effects are amazing. The film is just so well done. And by the way, shot in 70 millimeter IMAX. It was shot with IMAX cameras. And
expensive loud ass cameras.
They really, I mean, it's really something else. Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie 95%. IMDb has 8.4 out of 10, and Metacritic has 89% on this film. And by the way, I saw it in the Cube, which is sort of a junior IMAX screen. It was spectacular. There was very few trailers beforehand, but one of the trailers was for Tom Cruise's film Digger.
Yeah.
And I thought the trailer was absolutely amazing. It showed a clip from every single one of Tom Cruise's epic movies.
Wow.
I mean, it was like a retrospective as if he had died. You know, it was crazy.
Unbelievable.
Anyway,
Unbelievable.
I love the Odyssey. I thought it was incredibly well done. This is a film you cannot watch on a small screen. You have to see this, preferably in IMAX, because it was shot in IMAX. That's my recommendation to all of you, is go out and see this film in IMAX if you can. Now, Aljon, on the smaller screen, I did watch a new show that dropped on Prime. I only watched 2 episodes, but this was, I got an email from a listener, Michael R., up in Northern California, I think he is. He's in California. I think it might be Northern California. Anyway, Michael said, "Hey, Dave, have you seen Ride or Die? I watched the first episode, and it's a lot of action, and I really enjoyed it." So I watched the first 2 episodes of Ride or Die, and I absolutely was thrilled with this. It stars Hannah Waddington and Octavia Spencer, playing Hannah Waddington plays Judith, Octavia Spencer plays Debbie, her friend. And it's about best friends Debbie Claiborne and Judith Burton thought they knew everything about each other, except Judith turned out to be an international assassin. When a mysterious figure emerges, both of their worlds are turned upside down. Really well done show, great cast. It also stars Ed Skrein, Callum Lynch, Bill Nighy is in this. Really, I think just a wonderful cast of characters. So it has a overall 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, but it's got 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. So you could check that out. Ride or Die. It's a new series. I think all the episodes have dropped. It's It's an action series, and season 1 is up on Prime. So
Nice.
do check it out there. I also finished watching over on Apple Plus. I finished watching Your Friends and Neighbors season 2. And you know, I got to tell you, I love John Hamm. I think he's just a great actor. He plays Andrew Cooper. It's about when a financial titan suddenly finds himself divorced and jobless, he starts robbing his wealthy neighbors to stay afloat. Stealing from his own social circle strangely exhilarates him, but he gradually gets tangled into a deadly web. So, extremely well done series. It has a great cast. Amanda Peet, James Marsden is in season 2. Olivia Munn. Who else is in this? Mark Talman, Lena Hall. It's just a wonderful cast. Very enjoyable. It's a dark comedy. But Rotten Tomatoes gives it 84%. IMDb gives it 7.7 out of 10. I love this series. I hope it's back for season 3. I think it is. I think it will be. And then finally, Aljon, I'm giving you a record review.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I listened to the entire new Rolling Stones album, Foreign Tongues,
Yes.
which released on July 10th. And it's, it's the Rolling Stones. It's bluesy rock music. I thought the album overall was pure Rolling Stones. It's their 25th British and 27th American studio album. And I thoroughly enjoyed this new album, and I recommend it if you're a fan of the Rolling Stones. Is it their best album? I don't think so, but guess what? They've got so many damn albums out there. How do you pick the best one? Everybody, is going to say it's this, it's that, Sticky Fingers or whatever. I would tell you that this is definitely a worthy album of downloading or buying on vinyl or CD. Okay.
Can you believe that Marvel did a team up with them? They're doing vinyls of the Rolling Stone album with Thor on the cover. Look at that.
Really? That's
Look, I'm showing it
wild.
right now.
Huh.
And there's a Spider-Man limited edition vinyl. I love that. I love that they're doing that Spider-Man vinyl. Look at that.
Oh,
How
that's
cool
pretty
is that?
wild.
With the Rolling Stones logo in the background.
Yeah.
That is dope. That is so cool.
Anyway, I thought the album was very enjoyable. It has that bluesy rock edge to it that the Stones are well known for, and I thought it was a good album. I
love it.
Look forward to listening to it many more times.
Oh, that's great, man.
What have you been listening to? What have you been watching?
Well, I tell you, this is one for you. I will share this. It's been a busy week for me watching stuff for once. It's been absolutely crazy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I am a big fan of thrillers and horrors. And as you know, and this movie is more of a thriller. From the studio that brought you Longlegs and Weapons, which were some of my favorite horror movies from last year. We have a movie called Hokum. And a horror writer visits an Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes, unaware that the property is said to be haunted by a witch. And it's really well done. And it is a smaller film. It takes place in this inn in Ireland, Dave, which I know is close to your heart because it's a place that you know quite well. But Adam Scott is the writer that takes this kind of vacation, if you will, trying to find himself. This guy, from the get-go, the character is a complete a-hole. He's a complete a-hole of a writer. He has some trauma that they get into. He goes to spread his mom and dad's ashes in this Irish forest behind this inn that they spent their honeymoon. And Irish folklore, of course, the witches are there. They haunt this hotel, apparently. Of course, he's a huge skeptic. He's like, ugh, can't believe this, but I'm going to get down to the bottom of it, And one night in the hotel, he discovers the secret of that hotel and that barred room that no one is allowed to go in. So it's psychological, it's supernatural in spots. And Adam Scott starts out as a guy you just do not like at all. He is a complete jerk to everyone that runs into him at this hotel. Everyone wishes him well. Welcome to the hotel. He is a famous writer, so he's kind of like a Stephen King type. And so everybody's asking for autographs and, can you sign this novel for my son? He's like, bugger off, right? Get out of here. Crazy American. So that's what happens. And there is a nice twist at the very end. It's really cool. And, so go out of your way to check this out. I am very surprised. It actually shows up as one of the top horror movies of this year. To a lot of people. It's rated 6.7. I actually will give it a good 7. I like it a lot. check out Hokum and check out a great performance from Adam Scott, who is in there as well. The rest of the cast is a bunch of people you've never heard of, probably. Austin Emilio plays the conquistador. They kind of relive some of the writings that he's doing. So he kind of is writing his novel in the hotel. It's very cool. So please check that out. Nice stuff. Another thing I've been checking out is Dave, you know I'm a big wrestling fan.
Yes, I do. Yes.
But Dark Side of the Ring is one of those great documentaries. The series has been going on now for 7 seasons, and they have this great one about the life and times of fellow Nashvilleian Jeff Jarrett and the ins and outs of TNA wrestling, and covering his rise in wrestling to starting off this promotion to rival the WWE, former WWE superstar and champion. And then all of a sudden, life happens. He gets into rehab and then his triumphant comeback as well. So it's a really great story with a happy ending. Some of these documentaries don't have that. A lot of you guys know that, the world of professional wrestling is riddled with a bunch of substance abuse as well as, death, unfortunately.
Yeah. Lots of sad stories, sad
a lot of
endings.
sad stories. Mm-hmm. But this is not the case at all. So go out of your way to check it out. The story is so compelling that it's one of their top-rated starts to their season 7 in 3 parts. So please go out of your way to check that out on Vice. You can stream it on Hulu, and you can also check it out on YouTube as well. Another interesting movie that I checked out this week was a movie by the name of Primate. And this also is a thriller as well. Dave, it's really, rabies. Let me tell you about rabies. We've seen movies like Cujo. This is a film that looks like it could have, come out during the pandemic because it's a very small cast. A group of friends. They have a tropical vacation that turns into a terrifying primal tale of horror and survival. Something's wrong with Ben. And look at Ben here in the corner. There is Ben. I hear the name Ben and I think of that Michael Jackson song with a little mouse, and everything. But this old primate here, we have like a Jane Goodall, this kind of scientific researcher who happens to also be deaf, is doing a book tour. And the family's left behind with little Ben, but Ben gets rabies and of course turns into the Cujo of the movie. So if you remember Cujo, where the dog just terrorizes this poor mom and son in a car locked in the middle of the summertime heat. Well, this is very similar, but they're kind of in lockdown in this house and is being hunted by this murderous monkey. And it's crazy. It's a B movie. It's a splatter horror film.
I was going to say, it sounds like mayhem.
It does. Mayhem ensues. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. It is fun, and it is a teen horror film. You can stream it now on Paramount Plus.
Oh gosh.
I know, right? On something a little bit different. Mortal Kombat. I am a video game fan too. And so I was just waiting for it to come out on the streamer. And now you can rent Mortal Kombat now. You can check it out on Amazon Prime. And can I tell you how much fun this movie is? It's a throwback to the kind of 90s style action movie. Tells a tale of, favorite fan champions now joined by Johnny Cage himself. That movie that Bruce Lee had called Enter the Dragon.
Yes.
Everyone comes out to Mr. Han's Island to fight for fortune and glory, right? Little did they know that they uncover a ring of human trafficking and drugs, right? And Bruce Lee spoils it all and then kills the person. Well, there's a tournament, of course, but it's not for all that junk. It's for the fighting of the survival of Earth, right? All these different realms of existence come into play here in a Mortal Kombat. So you have the 5 champions of Earth against the 5 champions of these other realms that go battle it out for supremacy that happens every generation. And you see here Carl Urban who's amazing in this, is Johnny Cage, the ex-Hollywood superstar, if you will, the Jean-Claude Van Damme type that is now doing Comic-Cons. They come to him and they recruit him. It's like, why do you need me? I'm just a drunken, old, washed-up actor. You were meant for something different. You were meant to help save the world. Of course he does, right? So it's a great film. I love these characters a lot. A lot of the missteps that happened during the first Mortal Kombat movie were completely redone in a great way. It makes sense and it's fun. So if you want a martial arts movie, a lot of hard-hitting action and a lot of humor from the camp there, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but the effects, the martial arts scenes are one to watch. Please check out Mortal Kombat. Rated R for extreme violence, as you can imagine.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cut my review short. I did watch the new Descendants movie on Disney Channel, but I'm going to save that for next week.
Okay.
It's a fun movie.
All
So
right.
we'll save it for next week. So what have you been watching? Let us know and we'll check it out in a future episode.
Hello, this is Disney legend Bill Farmer, and you're listening to Skull Rock Podcast.
Hey everybody, I am animator Andreas Deja and you are listening to Skull Rock Podcast. Hallo, ich bin Animator, Trick und Zeichner Andreas Deja und ihr seid gerade beim Skull Rock Podcast.
This is Nebraska State poet Matt Mason, and you are listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Hey, everybody, this is John Pomeroy, animator, producer, artist, and you are listening to Skull Rock Podcast.
Now, Aljon, I kind of feel like this is a good place for you to explain how we're going to give away 3 copies of my new book, Walt Disney World War II Animation on the Front Lines. I think this is a great place to tell our listeners how they can get a free copy, how they could win a free copy, because we're giving away three copies of my new book, Walt Disney World War II Animation on the Front Lines. And this is an epic book. It's 384 pages.
Whoa.
And it is profusely illustrated. That's right, folks. There are rare photos. In fact, I'm gleeful from the proposition that at some point, friends of mine who are also Disney historians are going to get their hands on a copy of this book in the fall, and I'm going to get messages like, "Oh my God, I've never seen the picture on page X," or "I've never seen this photo," or "Oh my gosh," because there are a ton of photos in this book that people have never seen before. These are photos that I have found, I've collected over the last 30 years. And they're not photos that the company has. Okay? Wow. These are photos that I found that were, from photo services and, candid pictures taken during that period. So anyway, my point being, folks, is Aljon is going to tell you right now how you can win a copy of my book. So Aljon, explain this to me, because it's all gobbledygook to me. How do people enter? Okay.
Well, we're gonna have a link to a raffle copter in the show notes, as well as
what is a raffle? What is a raffle copter?
Oh, so what it does is, as you click the link, you're going to have to follow us on our social media. You're going to have to like us. You're going to have to like our YouTube channel. So if you do all the little requirements, it gives you every time you do a little check mark, like, oh, I follow you on X, or I follow you on YouTube, or I follow you here, then you get a little entry every time you do that. And then at the very end, we'll put you in a blender, and it literally does a little wheel thing where it spins everybody's name in a tumbler and chooses a name at random based on everyone that enters. So, and it's completely transparent. You can see exactly who wins. And, as you register using your social media, there you go. And then we'll contact you as a result of you winning. And I'll say, hey, look, we have 3 winners. They're going to win this book. Your rules and all that will apply here. So, your rules will be clearly pointed out. So it's a really cool system.
Okay. So it's transparent. It's fair. Everybody has an equal shot at it. right?
Yep.
So the question I have is, do we leave this contest open for a week, for 2 weeks? What are we going to do? Should we open it as this show drops today on Monday? What is Monday? The 20th, right? So
Yep.
From Monday the 20th through what? Monday the 27th? We leave it open for a whole week?
No, I think we can leave it open for a whole month.
Well, okay, let's leave it open for a whole month then. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
leave it
good.
open for a whole month. Leave it open for a whole month. If you're, joining the show, we'll kind of chat about it at the top of every show and leave you a reminder to register. And not only, I think it'll be great if you have an opportunity to win, but every week, why don't you? We'll just go ahead and just open it up so you can do it more than once. Go ahead and do it, and then the more chances.
Realistically, how many times can somebody enter?
I can make it so that people can enter every day if they like.
Once a
So
day.
they can
Once a
once a
day
day,
for a
once
month.
every 24 hours.
Okay.
You can do it for an entire month, and we'll put your name in a blender. And if you're going in and you're liking our content and you're engaging with us on social, you want to leave us a review, you want to leave us a drop. I can even make it so that if you leave us a review, it'll count.
right.
So there you go.
So now I want to do a reveal of the cover artwork, Aljon.
Sure.
Before you do it, though, let me build
Okay.
up to it. Okay.
Okay,
Hold
go
on.
ahead.
Don't,
Go ahead. I won't go.
Get your hand off the trigger. Okay.
I won't go trigger happy, Dave. Sorry.
So earlier I mentioned the fact that in my acknowledgments I thank Joe Grant, Disney legend. He was an artist. He worked with Herb Ryman during the 1940s. He was heavily involved in some of the World War II films that were produced at the Walt Disney Studios during that time, and the cover art is inspired by some artwork that Joe did for a montage that was at the end of some World War II films like the Canadian war bond PSAs, the New Spirit, the Tax Picture with Donald Duck, and some other films from that period that really were designed to be morale boosters for the public. And so if you would, go ahead and put up the cover of my book, and people can see this, and I'll talk a little bit about it. So there you go. That is the official cover of Walt Disney World War II, animation on the front lines. The background artwork, like I said, is inspired by some visual development work that Joe Grant had done for a number of these World War II films that were produced at Walt Disney Productions during the war years. You can see that the foreword for the book is written by Jerry Beck, the great animation historian and author and host of a lot of animation screenings around the Los Angeles area. He's also a professor. I know he teaches up at Cal Arts, amongst other places. And the preface is by Theodore Thomas, better known to his friends as Ted Thomas. And Ted Thomas is the son of Frank Thomas, one of Walt Disney's 9 old men. And I will say Ted is also a past guest on the Skull Rock podcast, as is Jerry Beck. So there you have it. That is the cover of the book. The little insignia that Aljon is zooming in on with the eagle, that is the Lend-Lease Act logo that Walt Disney Productions had designed for the U.S. government. It was a logo that went on to crates of food that was shipped to our allies. So, Aljon, the 4 stars above the eagle in the logo represent the four freedoms. And these were the four freedoms that Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president of the United States during World War II, he considered these as key points. Freedom of speech, the right to express opinions without censorship or restraint. Freedom of worship, the right to practice any religion or none at all without persecution. Freedom of want, the assurance of economic security and access to basic needs for all individuals, and freedom from fear, the protection from violence and oppression, ensuring safety and security for everyone. Those were the four freedoms that the Allies were basically fighting fascism for. And so I thought that was an appropriate design element to have on a World War II book cover. And of course, the eagle is the symbol of American might. And I just, I'm very thrilled with how this book cover turned out. I love the graphic nature of it. It certainly harkens to what that period of time was like. And I do, in the coming weeks, I think I'm going to share maybe some interior page spreads for us to talk about as we discuss this giveaway. So,
love it.
So for our 300th episode of the Skull Rock podcast, we're giving away 3 copies of my new book, Walt Disney World War II Animation on the Front Lines. And Aljon is putting the link into our show notes so that you can just click on it and enter to win. We're going to keep the contest going for a full month, 30 days, maybe even 31 days. I don't know.
Sure. Absolutely.
I mean, we're
No,
loosey-goosey here at the Skull Rock podcast, but I hope people are excited about this. This is a absolute seminal book for me. I kind of have described it to some friends over the last month or two as it's finally come together and gone off to the printer. I've really described this as really an opus for me. This is a major achievement, I think, for me as a writer, to have put this book together and to really get your arms around this period of Disney history. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for you too, Dave. I'm a big fan of your essays on the topic. I'm loving the art. I would love to get custom guitar graphics done with some of those emblems from that era.
Hey,
I think they're so cool. I would literally strip the paint off a guitar and put that emblem on the guitar. It's so freaking cool. And some great stories that we have yet to hear. I can't wait to check out all of the stuff you've unearthed. So this is kind of like your War and Peace, your Tolstoy, if you will, the biggest tome that Dave has ever put out, right?
This is the largest manuscript that I've ever written. It's over 70,000 words. And it really touches on a lot of different areas of not only the film animation, but using, animation characters and drawings for pamphlets, for posters, for insignia, for all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a very thorough chapter on the Mickey Mouse gas mask. And there is material in that chapter alone that people have never seen before. I mean, it's really crazy, So
it's cool.
I'm really thrilled, and as you can tell, I'm super excited about this book. So,
well, I love it. Well, congratulations to our future winners. You'll have all kinds of ample opportunity to check out and win those books over time. And we encourage everyone, if you haven't signed up, if you haven't logged in and like the show, subscribe to the show, give us those likes and reviews on Apple or wherever you find your podcast, please do, because every bit will help us and help you win this huge book. So congratulations to our future winners. All right, Dave, now it's time for our pop culture news of the week. And Dave, the box office is pretty huge this week. Moana making some money, not the biggest money, but making money nonetheless. Dave, in our top 10 films we're talking about, have you gotten a chance to see Moana yet?
I have not, and I have to tell you, Aljon, I mean, I said this from day one. When I first saw the animated Moana, I kind of felt like, why didn't they just make this a live action movie?
Yeah,
you know, out of the
absolutely.
gate. I mean, some of these animated films that are coming out as of late, you could just cut to the chase and just make it an animated movie, you know? So, but hey, listen, what I've said in the past is that Disney's taking these wonderful stories and creating other ways for the fans to access it. So when you take a film like Aladdin or The Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast, you're giving them not only the original animated film, you're giving them a stage production, you're giving them a live action version, you're giving them, an attraction to go through or an experience at the parks. So Disney's doing what they do best, and that is presenting stories in a variety of ways to a wider audience, and let the audience choose. I have chosen not to run out and see Moana, the live action film. Okay.
Well,
How's
that's
that
all
for,
right. You're
for
not.
being rather diplomatic?
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, well, apparently you're not the only one, Dave. I mean, it shows in the box office, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. These numbers are the latest from Hollywood Reporter than what I have in my show notes. But Moana, Kung Fu Soccer, Toy Story 5, the global juggernaut, 63 mil over the weekend. We're about rounding out $880 million globally for this
Well,
film.
where's
That
the
is
Odyssey?
insane.
Odyssey opened this weekend.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Odyssey's not in here.
Yeah, I don't understand
Not
that.
in here yet. Yeah, it's not in here yet. But that the returns
Because
haven't come back.
the latest numbers for the Odyssey that I saw was that it was going to open to a huge, like 120 million domestically and close to 300 million globally.
Well, the returns usually I started getting the returns around 6 a.m, and then I've tried to alter it till we actually start recording around 8 o'clock. But I've refreshed the charts, and they have yet to come back yet. So I'm sure that'll be the case. But having said that, Evil Dead Burn doing really well, 13.7. Young Washington, Invite Obsession, still making money. Supergirl still in its decline, 3.6 mil over the past week. Disclosure Day also doing okay business. You would think that Steven Spielberg would do a little bit more, but I didn't see a lot of marketing for that film, to be quite honest.
I liked the film. I saw it on a big screen. It was a well done movie, and I think it's going to have legs out there, and I think it'll probably do well when it goes onto a streaming channel.
I tell you, what's crazy, Dave, is that Obsession can now be streamed on Peacock, I believe, and it's still in the theaters. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So not only can you stream it, but you can also see it in the theater, and people are still coming out in droves to see it. That is probably one of the biggest Cinderella stories of all time, is Obsession.
Yeah.
A film made for about $800,000, scoring about 300 million at the box office. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Dave, have you seen the latest from Rocky? The film I Am Rocky has been making waves. This is the Sylvester Stallone biopic, and this whole week it's like the front page of IMDb. It is trending. Dave, have you seen this?
I did. I saw the trailer for this, and I was blown away because the casting is so incredible. The actor, he's an unknown, as far as I know, who is being cast to play Sylvester Stallone. And I just think it's terrific. I saw this trailer and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, Aljon, I've been aware of this behind the scenes story of Rocky for decades.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of legendary because Stallone penned the screenplay for Rocky and insisted on playing the lead character, and the studios didn't want that. They wanted a name actor. They were trying to buy the script out from Stallone and cut him out, but he wouldn't do it, and he stuck to his guns. And you know, it's just, you know, the original movie spawned, I think, now four or five sequels, you know, if you include the Apollo Creed films.
Oh, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
franchise, and
but it's,
even though, you know,
yeah, but it's
yeah.
it's just a great Hollywood story, you know what I mean, behind the scenes. And I think the casting on this, the trailer was spectacular. I saw it in the theater just recently.
So good. I mean, look at this guy. This guy looks just like Sly.
Yep.
I mean, it's uncanny. Look at that.
I know. It's amazing.
Looks like Sly, talks like Sly. I
Yeah.
mean, go out of your way to check out that video, because that trailer just, I had to watch it several times. I was blown away. And what a great underdog story. If you look at underdog stories of David and Goliath, Rocky is a close second to that. I mean, there's no other David Goliath story in the history of film that compares to Rocky. Rocky really is my number one favorite underdog film of all time.
Oh, no,
Dave. And,
it's fantastic, and it really, you know, spawned an amazing career for him after he did that film. I just think people who see that trailer, you're going to want to see this movie, because I certainly did.
it's the template. It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, there are films that have come and gone. I mean, you've got, you know, films like Ben-Hur, you've got films like Citizen Kane. I put Rocky in that because it really is the template for any sports or underdog film of all time. And I've got a tremendous amount of respect for that. But man, that looks really good. Anyway, Dave, a lot of really cool stuff happening. And so, you know, we talked about, you know, I play Rocky. We talked about how now you have movies like Obsession that are now streaming. Do you find that these films are just like literally as their theatrical releases happen, that they're just going to be coming out on streaming like right as literally the same week that they're going to leave?
I don't necessarily believe that, but I do think that the studios have to be making more epic films that draw people into the theater. And believe it or not, this year, movie theaters are really having a comeback. They're doing very well, and audiences are going in. And by the way, Gen Xers are starting to go to the movie theaters, you know. And when I saw the Odyssey last Friday, the theater was full. It was a full house, you know, and that's the kind of film. It's an epic tentpole movie that you have to see on a big screen. You just have to. And so, and by the way, speaking of the Odyssey, I just saw that so far the movie has done 120.5 million domestically and 257.8 million globally. And that is a blowout weekend, because Universal was originally predicting that they were going to do around 80 million domestically. So they've done 120.5 so far. It's opened in 73 territories outside the United States, and the cinema score is an A from audiences. A. Can you believe that? I mean, that's a glowing review. So again, I think filmmakers like Christopher Nolan know that you have to make these epic movies and make them in 70 millimeters, shoot them in IMAX, whatever. You want to make these films so that you have to bring the audience to a theater to see it on a giant screen. You're not going to get the same sense of the Odyssey watching it on your home television. I'm just saying.
Question.
You know?
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
A lot of films these days have been criticized for how flat the film looks, especially those that have a lot of dependence on CGI.
Yeah.
So because this is such a sprawling film, you would think that, in cinema, you want to see these grand, these vast landscapes. You want to see a lot of pictures of people in the frame and have it look somewhat natural instead of just blurred out. I feel like a lot of this forced perspective happens in film these days with special effects and heavy use of CGI, that they literally force these people to be in a certain frame and everything else gets blurry, where that's really not how that was done in some of these other films. I mean, how did you feel like visually, because you're visual effects and art, filmmaker, when you look at these things, did it detract you? Was there some kind of uncanny valley, like this really looks so CG?
Not at all.
In this film?
I did not have
Wow.
that kind of a moment in the Odyssey at all.
Wow.
Okay, not one.
Wow.
And I have had that moment in a number of these superhero movies, because there's so many visual effect shots and they're rushing to try and meet a deadline that sometimes there's a shot or two that slip through where they just say, it's got to be, we can't redo that shot. We can't fix that shot because we've run out of time, and the famous one is, what was the book a few years ago, where the, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of it, where the crickets, no, it's not where the crickets chirp. It's,
oh yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about.
See if you can find it, because I had read
Where the crawdads
Thank
sing.
you. Where the crawdads sing. I had read Where the Crawdads Sing. I read the book. I loved the book. I loved the book. And when I went to see the movie, which I was anticipating was going to be good, I was completely taken out of that movie at the very opening shot where they're tracking a bird flying, because the bird was done CG and it looked terrible. It was awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, they're trying to do the Forrest Gump follow the feather scene.
And it was just terrible. Anyway, but look, I think that, going forward, look, the next big tentpole movie is going to be Spider-Man: A New Day.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to show you, Dave, before we wrap things up in pop culture, is Spider-Man. This is another summer of Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And not just Tom Holland, Zendaya.
Yeah.
And not just Zendaya, but you have Bernthal in there too. John Bernthal.
Yeah.
You've got three of the title stars that are in a blockbuster coming out just weeks before this other blockbuster with the same three people involved in it. I mean, what is the timing on this? Their management is going, man, we are raking it in this year.
Yeah, I know. Really, it's crazy. But
I mean,
look, that's the next big blockbuster coming at the end of July. I think July 31st it's opening. I'm looking forward to seeing this in the theaters. I actually may see this in IMAX up in New York that weekend. So
I'm going to have to go see it myself. These two movies are epic. I'm glad that you feel that the Odyssey didn't look so uncanny valley. That is encouraging for me.
It beautifully done. Look, Christopher Nolan is a great filmmaker, and he does not compromise, and he's had such success now that, honestly, the filmmaker, the studios just should say, what's your next movie? Oh, okay, here's an open check. Go make that. They should leave him alone and let him make his movies,
Well, he's made a lot of money for people. That's for darn sure.
The Batman films that he did, Oppenheimer, great movie. These are movies you have to see on a big screen. So there you have it.
Love it.
I'm beating the drum about going to the theaters.
Well, no, that's exciting for me because, once again, that's been my criticism of a lot of big movies, is that they take I would say, Dave, you're in visual effects, so please forgive me. But it seems like they take the easy way out by blurring the backgrounds. They do these forced perspective situations. They color correct everything, do everything in post, and it doesn't look real. It doesn't look real. In fact, Dave, I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, and a lot of YouTube creator stuff. I don't know what it is, but when they're doing it in shorts, and a lot of people are seeing this lately, it looks uncanny valley. It's like they're training AI with all of this content, user-generated content models of upscaling and doing some really weird stuff to people's content on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I
hear you. I hear you. I'm with you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm director Kevin Lima, and you're listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
This is animator Ron Husband, and you're listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Hey guys, it's me, Brett Iwan, the voice of Mickey Mouse. Oh boy. And you're listening to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Hi, it's producer Alice Dewey Goldstone, and this is the Skull Rock Podcast.
Gang. Once again, great stuff in pop culture, but now we're up to this time of week, this time of the show where we celebrate.
Skull Rock Podcast.
You know, you're like that little arrow on your hat, straight and shining, and that's the way I'll always remember you.
I'll always remember you. I'll always remember you.
I'll always remember you, Sharon.
They hang you, I'll always remember you.
In memoriam.
You know what I should do, Dave, is I should give away a prize to anyone that could figure out all the clips in that movie.
Well, I love the
Those
Humphrey
movie
Bogart
clips.
one. That's from the Maltese Falcon.
How can you not forget?
I know.
How can you not like
I've seen
that?
that movie so many times. I
You
always
gotta love it.
smile when I hear that. You know,
It's,
when they hang
it's-
out to
it's-
dry.
It's such a good clip. Anyway, let's celebrate the lives and times of these actors and actresses whose time had come short, or I should say, had a long career, like Brenda Fricker, Oscar award-winning actress in My Left Foot, passes away at the age of 81. I remember when this movie was made, Dave, My Left Foot. I mean, it won all kinds of awards back in the 80s, and here she is now. I can't believe she passes away at the age of 81.
Yeah, you know, she's a terrific Irish actress, and she's been in a ton of stuff. When you see her face, you absolutely recognize her. She, you know, again, she even quipped that, you know, her obituary will be Academy Award winning actress, you know, because she won the Academy Award for My Left Foot. You know, she won an Academy Award for her performance in that, and she's just was terrific in everything she appeared in. So
So sad.
she leaves behind, I think, a great body of work. So she was in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. She was in The Field. I married an axe murderer. I mean, you know,
Underrated
There you go.
Mike Myers film. So underrated. I love that movie.
All right.
It's so good. So good. Also, passing this week, once again, Hal Williams, actor on 227 and Sanford and Son, dies at the age of 91, according to Hollywood Reporter. Once again, you know the face. Hal Williams has been on so many shows in the 80s.
Absolutely. I mean, 80s and 90s, he was everywhere. You know, you couldn't help but like this guy. He always played likable characters, I think. He was the drill sergeant in Private Benjamin, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
With Goldie Hawn. He had a run on The Waltons. Just a terrific character actor, and again, leaves behind a wonderful body of work.
Also passing, very, very sad, especially with someone so young. Jennifer Finch, L7 bassist and LA punk figure, dies at the age of 59. Very sad indeed. There she is. I remember her playing for L7. Grunge and feminist punk legend Jennifer Finch, bassist and vocalist for the influential band L7, passed away at the age of 59 after a long battle with an aggressive form of brain cancer, Dave.
Just terrible.
And just very, very sad, of course. Joining L7 in 1987, she was a core member of the band's classic lineup, along with Donita Sparks, Susie Gardner, and Dee Plackless. And it's so sad. I mean, what a tragedy, especially it's so young. Anyway, rest in peace.
Let's get out of here!
Come on, Scotty, let's get out of here.
get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, Lieutenant.
Now we have some great stuff coming up. Like I said, Dave, I'm so excited about the fact that we just rounded out our 300th episode.
It really is unbelievable, Aljon, and I'm just thrilled that, it continues to go on. I'm thrilled that we get all the great feedback from our listeners all around the world. And we continue to have great guests. We've got Imagineer Joe Cicero popping by next week. And we're going to catch up with him and talk more about the parks. We've got some fantastic guests lined up for the remainder of the year, and some people we haven't had on that somebody's going to scratch their head and go, you hadn't interviewed him already? But we didn't. We haven't. We're trying to get caught up, and we're trying to capture a lot of people. So we're looking forward to that. And I would just say, Aljon, I thoroughly enjoy doing this every week with you. It's just been a lot of fun for me. I love sitting here chatting with you and telling stories and hearing stories and just talking about content we're consuming, movies we're seeing, all of that.
Yes, same here. It is a joy to be with you every single week, Dave, and to catch up and talk all things pop culture and Disney. It's definitely been great, and I can't wait for another 300 episodes.
There we go.
So it's going to be awesome. Gang, once again, if you love the show, thank you so much. Subscribe to the show everywhere you find podcasts. Find us on all the socials, links in the show notes, of course. You want to win that book? We've got 3 of them to give away. Walt Disney World War II, Animation on the Front Lines. That's going to be coming out this November with Dave. Check the link in order to win your copy in advance of its release. It's going to be an awesome book. You can also find me on Aljon Go on Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook. Please check out those places. And also my other podcast, Dining at Disney, where Kristen, myself, and our Kat or Corey, we talk about the parks. We review the park food and restaurants and all the great food and wine events that happen at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Check out our content there at diningatdisney.com. And a big shout out to our friends at Sorcerer Radio, all Disney music all day long at srsounds.com.
That's it.
Dave?
Well, Aljon, and everyone listening, you can catch me on the Tunes Behind the Tunes on Sirius XM Disney Hits Channel 133. During the month of July, I am spotlighting the song Family from the 1996 stop-motion film James and the Giant Peach. So check that out on the Tunes Behind the Tunes on Sirius XM Disney Hits Channel 133. And if you hear me on the Sirius XM Disney Hits Channel 133, please send me a note. Let me know what you think of the show. You can also get signed copies of many of my books at theoldmillpress.com. You can also get author signed copies of the new released books, The Art of John K-Maker, An Animator's Garden by John K-Maker, and A Spoonful of Sugar, The Story of the Upjohn Pharmacy at Disneyland by Stephen Hall. And of course, you'll be able to order later this summer, hopefully by September, you'll be able to order copies of my Walt Disney World War II Animation on the Front Lines book, which will be going up hopefully in the next month or so on that website. Also, check out my personal website, davidbossert.com. There's plenty of free content. There's free stuff to send away for. And Aljon, I don't know if you know this, but I have a Patreon account. I have a Patreon channel, if you will.
All right.
And our listeners, if you look up me on Patreon, David Bossert, or Dave Bossert on Patreon, I've got some articles up that you can check out if you want to. I just put up something on the Ferdinand the Bull, the short from 1938. Some very rare ink blotters with vignettes from Ferdinand the Bull. So I've written about that. So check me out on Patreon if you want to.
Love it.
And with that, Aljon, I thoroughly enjoy being on this Skull Rock podcast with you every week. It is such a joy to chat with you and to do this show with you. We're partners in crime on the Skull Rock podcast, and I love it. And with that, I'm going to say go out and have a fantastic week, everyone. You too, Aljon. A fantastic week. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you back here next Monday, right here on the Skull Rock Podcast for our 301st episode. We'll see you then. Take care.